An interesting announcement from Pulsar Helium this week. The company has signed a deal with Chart Industries, a multi-billion-dollar company. Here to talk us through the implications of that news, it's Thomas Abraham James. Thomas, tell us more.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we're very excited about this agreement that we've got with Chart Industries, and really just underlines the company's commitment to realize potential, the production potential at our Topaz project in Minnesota. So, for those who aren't aware who Chart is, they really are the gold standard when it comes to the fabrication and engineering and design of various industrial gas facilities. So, including the helium and CO2 for which they specialize in. So they really are the premier group to be aligned with. And with our relationship, we'll certainly be feeding them data from our Topaz project, and they will then be updating their engineering studies and the scope to really identify the best solution for production at Topaz. So it's great. It's there's no cash involved with this agreement. It's just an open willingness to work together for the mutual benefit of seeing helium production in Minnesota.
So this announcement this week relates to the product once it's out of the ground, but I believe you've got some program ongoing or planned to, or both to do some more drilling. Tell us a little bit about your plans in that regard.
That's right. So look, with this association with Charts, we're getting in nice and early, and so that we don't leave it to the last minute. So should we get to that point where final investment decision, but really to build up so that we can move as quickly as possible. But yes, certainly there's more work to be done geologically. So we have a drill rig coming out in the next couple of weeks. So it's early December. So the rig is confirmed. The rig is funded. The permits are in place. The site is ready, and the team is very excited. So we'll have that one going back to the Jetstream #1 well, and then pushing it down deeper, another 500 meters worth of reservoir to assess and get all that accomplished in time for Christmas.
What would be the implications of success here? What would success look like?
Success is really going through that entire reservoir segment. So we've got it all mapped out from geophysics, seismic, and gravity, and then also the data from that well that we drilled in February. So we have a good level of belief that the reservoir does go deeper. So success is confirming that, and then really for future drilling, we know that a combination of geophysics that we use is a tool that does identify the reservoir and is very reliable for then going off and drilling step out wells from there.
So we threw a questionnaire out to our audience, our Vox Markets audience, and a question came back from an investor or a potential investor for you, which sort of follows on from what you were just saying there. So you're going to drill, you've got this agreement, but what is the notional development plan and indicative first phase production level? That's the question we got.
Okay, so what we're looking towards is, well, from a macro side, to be an independent producer of helium and CO2. So we're certainly seeing it through ourselves. In terms of I guess the output, as I was alluding to earlier, I think we'd go in with something that we would be very comfortable that we could deliver and then grow upon that. In terms of specific numbers for the outputs, I am afraid that it is too early to say that. But with Chart, we are looking at all scenarios. But really, we don't have very long to wait to answer that question. I wouldn't have thought. We've got an upcoming work program. After that, then a resource recalculation, and then economic assessment. So really, quite a lot of news flow, and not too long until I can hopefully answer that question conclusively.
Very interesting. So just talk a little bit before we close about the geography of this project. You're in Minnesota, inside the USA. There's just been an election there. Does that sort of position you quite comfortably, given that there might be some tariff controversies looming?
Yeah, look, it's there's a lot of talk about geopolitics and security of strategic commodities. Helium definitely falls into that category. It's also notoriously difficult to transport. It's a small molecule, it likes to leak. So being close to where it's actually used is key. And so for us being in the USA, and indeed in Minnesota, where there are quite a few end users of helium in the state itself, is very advantageous. So look, I think that I couldn't be happier with the location. And plus we've got, as you'd anticipate in the USA, you've got all that infrastructure. We have roads nearby, hydroelectric power, And then also just to the west of us, so there's some of the largest iron ore mines in North America. And that comes with all the service providers that one would anticipate to be there as well. So it's couldn't be happier with the location. And from a political side, I mean, really, there's support at all levels of government. We've had certain, political dignitaries come to site from all across the political spectrum. So very comfortable.
So it sounds like Topaz has got a lot going for it.
Yeah, look, I like to think so. It's as a young company, we've got off to a tremendous start. Everybody's enthusiastic and for our success, and it's great to have a group like Chart now on board. And I'd like to think that for all the listeners there, that over the next few months, there's going to be some pretty significant news flow. So it's a great time.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that news flow. Thanks very much for joining us today, Thomas Abraham James.
Thank you for having me.